welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a long time since I've made a video, and a lot has happened in my life. So I just feel like I should kind of like give you guys a brief overview of what's been going on, and just to get a better understanding of why I've been absent from YouTube for so long. So the last time I did a YouTube video, I had fallen down Stone Mountain. Well, not down the mountain, but like down the trail as I was going back down the mountain, and slipped and fell and broke my fibula bone and could no longer walk. I couldn't walk for 6 months, and at that time, a lot occurred that pretty much turned my world upside down, if I'm being honest with you guys. And when those things happened, I became very depressed, and I just had never been at a place like this in my life. Like, I've never not been able to walk. And so not being able to walk for 6 months really opened up my eyes to a lot, and also brought me closer to God in a lot of ways. And I honestly feel like that happened because God wanted to really sit me down and have me focus on Him and focus on building a deeper relationship with Him. And prior to that, my relationship, I felt with God was fine, but I think that there were just things that He wanted me to really zone in on and really focus on that I wasn't able to focus on before, because I was so, not overwhelmed, but like so caught up in the distractions that I felt like I was supposed to be doing versus what I really need to focus on. But along with getting closer to God, there was a time where, I was just really down and out, and reality kind of hit, and it showed me who was really there for me, who cared about me and who didn't. I felt forced to end relationships with people that I used to be close to, and still to this day, I don't really know how to explain to them why, but hopefully this video helps. Why I had to distance myself from them, but I literally felt like God was telling me to, and due to the circumstances and what I was going through and how I felt like I would have treated certain people if they were in the same situation as me, also played a part in me removing myself, and kind of made me feel away, and really, honestly just opened my eyes to who's really there for me, or like help me to properly place people where they belong in my life. Whereas, one thing that I struggled with, is kind of like not necessarily putting everyone on a pedestal, but like putting people in a place in my life where they don't have me. You know what I mean? Like, I know what I would do for a person versus, me thinking, oh, I'm this type of person, I would do this, I've done this, so why wouldn't someone do that? Like, it's the right thing to do, it's the good thing to do. And I found myself like, oh, everybody's not me. Everybody's not going to do what I do. Everybody doesn't have the heart that I have. And that was a very, very hard reality. And I didn't allow it to make me bitter. But, when you realize things like that, it puts you in a tough spot, and it really helps you to reprioritize people, reprioritize the things that you thought were important and the people you thought were important. So with that said, a lot of relationships ended. And most of it wasn't even because of, me feeling away. It was really because I really felt like God just said, no, you need to leave this person alone. And He gave me reasons for some of them, and some of them I can't really express here online. That's a personal thing. But, I had to obey. I was just at a stage where it was just me and God, and I had no one else to rely on. Now, I will say that God, brought a few people in my life during that time, and I'm very grateful for them, and they helped me out my time of need, and, just helped me to have faith in humanity at that time. So yeah, that was part of what happened, and why, I wasn't really focused on YouTube like that, because I was dealing with what for me was traumatic, like me not being able to walk and being scared that I was never going to be able to walk again, and knowing or realizing that, wow, like I don't have anybody to help me, or like I don't really I can't really depend on anybody right now. Like, that sucks, you know? But, you know, God came through. But it really put a fire up under me to prioritize saving money better, and just really planning for the unexpected, because not everybody's going to be there for you, and not everyone can be there for you. And it's like, sometimes it's not a matter of people not being there and like because of a choice. It's just like they literally, like, they're struggling themselves, so they can't help you or be there for you the way you want them to, or the way you would be there. Just like if something happened to somebody today and they needed this for something, or they needed a large sum of money to get out of that situation, or to heal, or to get treatment, I probably will only be able to give them like $100, and to them that might be like, dang, you know, I thought you blah blah blah, but that's all I have. So I don't fault anybody for like not being able to do what they couldn't do. But when I know that you could do it and you didn't help, or you weren't there, it just put things into perspective for me. So I'm glad I went through that, because it just really helped me clean out a lot of people in my life. But outside of that, I had a little situation right before my ankle had broke. There was a person that I briefly knew in my past. We were in school together, and he became very aggressive in his desire to be with me. Now, mind you, I don't really know this person. I mean, we met in passing in school. We never had like a relationship in any capacity. And a lot of people know that I was engaged when I was like 19, 18. And after that, you know, breakup, this person was kind of persistent with, you know, reaching out to me. And every time he did, I would politely decline. And then the year that I broke my ankle, I want to say 3 months before breaking my ankle, he got very intense with his approach and trying to get my attention. And so much so that I had to get police involved, and I got really scared because he told me where I lived, and he told me that he was going to bring me roses. So, with that said, that was very scary for me. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. So, I just did not feel safe. I was really scared. I had heard so many stories about these girls and, you know, being online and them having stalkers and people who are obsessive over them. And so I got so scared that I still right now, I have not posted on my page since 2019. Like, I haven't even made a post because it's just like, I was nervous. I was scared. I just didn't want any clue or anything of where I could be. And I moved. I was no longer in Atlanta anymore. Ended up moving to Florida. And so that was a journey in itself, you know, like just that whole transition, adapting to a new environment, new beginning, just trying to figure out what I'm going to do moving forward with my life and just all of that. So, you know, moved to Florida, and I just moved because of that situation, honestly, and for a fresh start, and because I just had a opportunity to do so. So I also deleted, you know how when you have like your following on Instagram and you now have the ability to go to someone's page and have them unfollow you? So instead of like blocking a bunch of people that I don't know, like I don't know who they are, I was so nervous that I went to my page and I went where my followers were, and anybody who did not have a picture, who did not post in like years or something, I removed them from them following me. I didn't want to block them because I didn't want to offend anybody necessarily, but I didn't know if any of these pages were him, you know what I mean? Or him pretending to be somebody else. So, you know, I just started removing a bunch of people, and like by the thousands, because I had like, I want to say 9,000 followers or something like that. And I dropped that thing down to about 8 or 8 or 7, something like that. So I was going through it, you know, and it was pretty tough. And law enforcement got involved. I ended up getting a restraining order on this person, and he agreed to, you know, no longer pursue me after I let him know that law enforcement was involved at this point. And it was just a lot, and I just never thought I would deal with something like that. Like, I've had people, like, you know, like a bugaboo, like, reach out to me a lot of times in DMs and stuff like that, but not the way that he did. And it was just really scary, and I just wanted to make sure I protect myself. So I stopped posting on social media. I did not post another YouTube video because I was like, dang, what if he finds out that I moved, you know? So I just was, you know, scared, and just stopped all social media pretty much, and just focused on God, and focused on, you know, building my relationship with him even further and deeper. And I'm glad I did that, because taking a break from social media, like, just really helped my mental health. I read a lot more. I was able to focus a lot more on just being intentional about where I'm going in my life and what I'm doing, and just what the will of God is for me personally. But now I am so grateful and blessed to say that I can walk. I am fully healed, although my ankle is not the same. I wasn't able to, like, get rehab or anything like that because I just couldn't afford it, honestly. But, you know, I'm walking, and I'm, you know, doing my own rehab at home, watching videos online, and, you know, taking advice from this, what do you call them? I forget the name of the foot doctors or whatever, but I went to do one session of rehab just to see what he would be teaching me and what I needed to do. He gave me something to take home for me to do for myself, so that's been working. I just have to be a little more consistent with that, because sometimes I do forget. And as you can see, I don't know if you can, you know, see it or not, but due to me not being able to walk, I gained a lot of weight. And so that caused a lot of depression and a lot of insecurities. And so with everything else that was happening, that was the cherry on top for me. And I was just like, I'm not getting on camera looking like Oompa Loompa. Like, no disrespect to the big girls or anything like that, but me personally, that's not my personal best, like, for me. And I just was so, like, disgusted with myself, if I'm honest. Like, well, I can't get on camera, like, with confidence and with, you know, with what I feel like I need to get across to somebody, feeling the way I feel. And perhaps that could have, you know, inspired somebody who was feeling the way I was feeling, but I just didn't have it in me to do it. So I ended up gaining 40 pounds because, you know, the way I lose weight is through cardio. And of course, you know, it starts in the kitchen, but for me, I have to put that extra work in to, you know, lose the weight that I want to lose and maintain it. So even now, I still, you know, haven't lost all the weight that I need to lose, but I'm in that journey at this moment. Like I said, I gained 40 pounds, and I'm trying to lose all of that and get back to where I was, or even better. But even though I'm still big and I'm still on my journey to losing weight, I was just feeling so bad because I felt like I was depriving you guys of what God was telling me that he wanted me to say to you. And he wanted to use me a lot of times. And I knew I wasn't in a place where I wanted to get on camera. So, like, I just wrote down the things that he gave to me. But if you're a person who is in some ways prophetic, or God uses you to speak to people, you know that sometimes you can't get back what God put on your spirit the way he put it on it. And you can't really, like, halt or wait for God. How can I explain this? I'm so sorry. And I'm not going to edit this video probably, because I know if I edit it, I'm going to be trying to perfect it, and it's going to take me like 3 months to upload it. So I probably won't be, you know, doing too much editing. So excuse me for that. But basically what I'm trying to say is that sometimes God wants you to deliver something, and he puts it on your spirit so heavy and so, like, specific and intentional that you have to either do it then, or, like, if you try to go back to it, the same, like, intensity, or I can't explain it, but the same thing he gave you at that moment may not be there when you try to go back to it. And that's what I was just doing now, like reading over my notes, like, okay, I'm back on my feet. I got my own place now. I'm back in a space where I can really focus on this, and I'm back at a space where I've, you know, prayed enough and talked to God enough and realized my worth and realized that it's not about how I look, how big I am, or anything. It's about letting God use you as a vessel. It's about the people, you know, it's about delivering this message, because it's not about looking cute, you know what I mean, or looking the part. There is no part. The vessel is the part. A vessel doesn't have a face. So let God use you the way you are, because you're perfect the way he made you. You know what I mean? So that's a message in itself. So maybe that's something you want me to talk about. But yeah, you know, yeah. So he was giving me certain things, and I was like, God, I'm sorry, but I can't get on camera like this. So I'll save it for when I feel confident enough to do that. So like I was saying, you know, now I'm back on my feet. I'm good now. I'm in a much better place spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. I'm doing a lot better. So I'm not going to make any promises, but I will say that I do have intentions on being more consistent with the videos that I put out and being obedient to God, because honestly, that's really what it boils down to. I didn't just get on YouTube because everybody else is on it. I literally got on it because I felt like, okay, what can I do to be a vessel for God, and how can I use what I've been through to help people? And so that's what I made this for. And so I realized that there are sacrifices that may have to be made. You know, there are times where you might be tired and you just have to do it, because there have been people who reached out to me and asked, you know, when was I coming back, or what happened, or they could really use an encouraging word. And I just totally neglected that because of what I was going through. And, you know, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you have a season where you're going through something and you just got to be still and alone. And so, you know, I don't want to be too hard on myself about it, but I do feel bad. I will say that I do feel bad about it. I do feel like there were a lot of messages that could have saved people or helped someone, the same way that a lot of people's messages during that time has saved and helped me. You know, Tony Gaskins, Latoya Okia, RC Blakes. And for everybody who commented on that video I did about Tony Gaskins suggesting RC Blakes, I really appreciate it, because he has really blessed my life, along with Latoya Okia. Latoya Okia has helped me get through a lot. So anybody looking to be uplifted in the spirit, that's trying to just stay connected to God and just keep seeking God's face, I would highly suggest listening to them, because they will just help you stir up your spiritual, I don't know, it just helps me just cling to God more, if that makes sense. You know, she'll say something that leads me to a scripture, and then there I am studying and writing stuff down, and God's giving me all kind of stuff. So yeah, man, like been through a lot, and it was just, I just didn't feel like being bothered. I didn't feel like being talked to. I just wanted it to be me and God, and I just had to figure a lot of things out internally. So I really do appreciate your patience. I really do appreciate your support through this time. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate your support. I don't know when I'll be doing another video, but just stay tuned. Click that notification bell so that you can be, you know, updated whenever I do post new content. And 9 times out of 10, I'll probably post on a community page when I'll be, you know, uploading a video on the topic that I'll be uploading. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.